Fantastic. Thank you very much for everyone for waiting. I'd like to introduce to you Neuropool, the marketplace to hire neurodivergent talent. Imagine a parent who's worried about their autistic kid and what the future holds for them. Worried they won't fit into school, be independent, or ever have a meaningful career. Well, that parent is my mother. And 15 years later, that kid who got expelled and couldn't get into a good university is paid by leading universities and enterprises to help neurodivergent people into the workforce. I'm an autistic ADHD founder that started this business to change the narrative for neurodivergent talent, because it turns out I'm not the only one who had this problem. Only 15% of us autistic adults even have a full-time job. And if we look at neurodiversity, there's 3 million underemployed neurodivergent adults that could be in better employment. And this is all contributing to the $120 billion STEM talent gap that the UK is facing. If we combine the UK and US, we're looking at a $1 trillion recruitment market by 2030. We know that there's 40 million neurodivergent working professionals who could be in our talent pool. And we also know that 70% of enterprise HR and talent teams have not yet got a solution for training or recruitment globally. So here's how we're monetizing this problem through our marketplace and three-sided model. We give our talent pool free access to our jobs board and self-serve AI coaching. We get universities and governments to pay us for our virtual mentoring programs. And enterprise pay us a 15% recruitment fee and subscription fee to receive that talent. And the best part is our coaching programs are not just a revenue stream. They're a launch pad for talent, and employers pay to access that. And here's how we're scaling it. We have a jobs board where employers can access better disclosure rates and reasonable adjustments. Our data and insight tools allow employers to see the breakdown of neurotypes and how to actually improve accessibility so we can in the future help retention rates. And for candidates, we're trying to find ways to improve our AI coaching to be able to help more people and also learn from that data to improve the way we engage the different neurotypes. And this isn't just theory and MVPs. In the last 4 years, we've generated over £400,000 revenue from enterprise and education. We've raised over 380,000 equity investment from a UK impact fund. And just from 21 clients in the last 4 years, a mixture of universities, enterprises, and SMBs, we've had the honor of proving and repeating that these recruitment models work. And that's all done virtually. We've also had the honor of working with Autocon, and currently with their UK team, we hold a 100% retention rate on all the data scientists that we've placed with them. And this is a relationship that we are looking to continue to explore. And we're currently in discussions with their US team of their future recruitment needs. And most importantly, it's not just our clients who make us money. We've proven that just for one graduate who went through our university program 4 years ago, we can make $15,000 in just 4 years, and that candidate won't pay us anything. We're talking about recruitment fees every 3 to 5 years. And currently, one of our graduates in the next 11 years, is predicted to make us $75,000 just because they are getting jobs. Now, what's the opportunity here? We're going to create the world's largest neurodivergent talent pool. We're going to get 10,000 people into work by 2030. And this is going to help us generate 35 million from placement fees, platform subscription fees, and our revenue share partnerships with businesses like Adecco. And we've got the pipeline to prove it. We're involved in a £450 million bid with Adecco as their neurodiversity recruitment partner. And we take a 25% margin on every contract placement, but we do not take the contract liability as a recruitment company. We've also had over 50 businesses reach out to us with no marketing spend. We have 16 UK universities interested in joining September's program. So we're raising 1.5 million to help speed our entry to market, grow our talent pool to 100,000 by 2027, go from 5 to 50 enterprise clients, and onboard 40 universities, creating the world's largest neurodivergent talent pool. We also need to mobilize the team to deliver against this recruitment bid with Adecco. And we also need to improve our platform ability when it comes to self-serve coaching and our job placement conversion within our talent pool. This will also help us identify product market fit for enterprise and give us around 20 months runway before we look at our next funding round. We have an incredible team backed by impact investors, multiple time founders, and our current core team holds over 80% neurodivergent representation. We also have a board of advisors that have sat on multiple exits and all have a link to neurodiversity. So if you want to join us in building the world's largest neurodivergent talent pool and help us build the marketplace to hire neurodivergent talent, I look forward to seeing you later today. and discussing Neuropool further. Thank you.
Boom. Well done, Jack. Such a good pitch. Panelists. Oh, you back up.
I'll kick us off here. So Jack, that's incredible. And one of the things that investors always look for is folks solving first person problems, because it's, the problem that people have been through and you've overcome it. So incredible to spend that time here. One question I have is when you are looking at competition, from the big job boards out there, or however you want to define it, who would be most likely to be interested in coming into your space? Especially you raise this round, you start kicking butt, you're going to make some waves, and then they're going to think this is a good market, right? Who are you fighting against, I guess, and what's your plan to, win?
That's a great question. And I think when I first started out, I was so scared of recruiters coming in and just adding the neurodiversity tag and wiping me out. But I realized that they will never have the trust from the community. And actually, we hold a 70% disclosure rate when candidates come and sign up to our talent pool. So that trust with the community will give us leverage. However, that's to kind of beat competition. We're actually taking revenue shares with some of the largest recruitment businesses in the world so that we can actually be their go-to partner before they try to do something better.
That's a good answer. Sorry, very nice.
Hey, I'll go next. Jack, thanks so much. I guess my question's about the market climate. And in the US, there's been a sudden change about what diversity means and what's allowed and how willing companies are to fund that. And so I'm kind of wondering, are you dependent on diversity programs in large corporations that are willing to go the extra mile to get the benefits and effectively pay a premium for that talent? Or do you think you can provide this service in a way that is not dependent on diversity hiring programs?
So I think that the companies that have already launched these programs like SAP, you'll know more of them than me. They've already been doing this for 6 years, so they're the ones we can actually approach and say, hey, let's bring you that top tier tech talent, and they'll pay those recruitment fees. With the backlash in the US, look, hopefully the government changes soon. And I think that pushback's really to diversity rather than accessibility and top talent. That's going to have a huge impact on the mid-tier of our talent pool and the people who are non-verbal, and actually it's not going to be great for them. But hopefully by the time the government changes in the next, 3 or so years, then we can get back to actually being inclusive. Yeah.
And I think you're heavily focused on the UK market as well. And that's probably maybe a better climate to focus on for now.
It is. And, our aim is to be in the US within the next 18 months. We've had some traction and requests from US clients. But as you know, do one market really well before you try to go global. So sadly, we probably have at least 9 to 18 months before we start getting US revenues in.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
And I'll ask the last question. So great pitch. We're investors in Audicon, so it was great to see them on the deck. But I'm curious, as you grow your talent pool, I think to 100,000. How are you planning to maintain the quality control and making sure that there's meaningful outcomes, especially if platform growth explodes, which is great, but in case it outpaces mentorship or placement capacity? I would love to hear more about the safeguards around that.
Yeah, so we actually, when we took investment from the Growth Impact Fund, one of the people who did due diligence was Scope, which is one of the leading providers of mentoring and disability coaching in the UK. So we do have kind of investors to help us on how do you ensure safeguarding, particularly because autistic adults are highly vulnerable. So one, we ensure that any program that we roll out with government or universities kind of has a safeguarding procedure. But we also will need to look, when we do hit that breaking point in scale, how do we actually, monitor and review, hundreds of mentors and thousands of candidates. So that's something that we probably still have to look into. But based on our previous programs of, let's say, a cohort of about 1,000 candidates across those 3 different streams, we had to have different safeguarding or quality checking procedures based on each different stream. But happy to go into more detail on that.
Great, thank you.